Welcome to the Challenge Yourself podcast. I want everyone to know I have been taken by surprise. Is that the name of it? No, actually, it's just called Taken. The movie is called Taken. I have been taken. I am not at my home. I am telling you right now, Ashley has hijacked me. And I am telling you all, I just don't know. I mean, it's just been like, I don't know, like the Handmaid's Tale or something.
Wait a minute.
Ashley, what is going on? Welcome, everyone, to the Challenge Yourself podcast. Welcome. I know some of you all have been entangled in a Handmaid's Tale, and I, too, have been taken. And I am a victim.
Oh, what is happening
Ashley?
Here? I missed something. Me?
Hello, everyone. I'm Joy. As you can hear in the background, the surprise person that you hear is Ashley. And we have had a tremendous, 7 days. And so I had to start off a little bit silly because, well, it wouldn't be me if there wasn't something going on. Not drama, though, but just saying, I had to start off a little silly. So we're going to challenge ourselves. I'm turning the mic over to Ashley because, frankly, the story is I think we all have stories. Let me start with saying this. We all have had stories the past year. Things that are unbelievable. We couldn't have even written about them before. The stuff just is unbelievable, and then it was so believable, it was shocking that we really did believe it, right? And then it was happening, and we were believing it, and we were sitting there like, well, God, I don't need to ever see a movie because real life is a movie. So
that's right.
There's that.
That's right.
And so I know all of us have had those stories. Stories where it blows your mind, you're angry, frustrated, sad, and yet you want to laugh. Because sometimes crying is not the answer in the middle of a tough storm. And all of us have felt a large well of anxiety. So tonight, today, wherever you are in the world, thank you to our global community. Thank you for joining us. We are really getting to the nitty-gritty with Ashley. We've brought out the lifeline tonight. The life coach, or whatever they call it. What do they call
it? The life raft.
It's just SOS. Go ahead, girl.
It's so funny. Y'all, Joy, she liked to call me out like that. I don't know how we ended up on here this late evening.
Who called you out?
Don't sound innocent. So, sometimes, and y'all, you guys, I'm just going to preface here. I don't know what I'm about to say, but here we go. Challenge Yourself crew, here we go. So, on top of that, sometimes I guess you feel like you don't want to cry, so you laugh. Sometimes you just have a straight attitude.
That's right.
Something, right? You ever been through something, and it was just like at the point where it's like, you know what? I just have an attitude about this. I just can't even.
Do you feel that the attitude has a feeling attached? I mean, the attitude, is it hurt? Is it irritation? Is it frustration? Is it pure anger? Where is it? Where does it fall?
I think the attitude is a mixture of being just tired, frustration, and irritation. It's all.
That doesn't sound like a great smoothie. Doesn't sound like a good smoothie.
No, that's the smoothie. It doesn't have any fruit in it. It's just like pure bitter greens.
I know, and some people like that, and they drink it every day, and they just brag about how good it tastes, and it's so good for their body. Well, we're not those people.
Bless your heart. Yeah. No. No, this is a bitter green.
Tired, exhaustion, bitter greens. And it seems like you've been on the bitter green diet a little bit,
You know, and it's true. And I'll say this. The thing is about the bitter greens, it's bitter when it's going down. You don't want to taste it. You may even have an attitude about drinking it. But at the end of the day, once it gets into your system and is incorporated, your body transforms those bitter greens into something that is good and is useful to your body and will actually help you in the long run. Now, it has to break down the greens and extract the nutrients from it and get rid of the crap because, it all has crap in it. But, it extracts it somehow. So as I'm looking at the past, I guess we can even just start with the week. I can say that in the midst of drinking the bitter greens of this week and the past really 4 days, 5 days, I know that some nutrients somehow will be extracted from this. And I'll say this. So you guys are probably like, what the heck is she talking about?
No, but that's really good. That's some good food. That's good. Did you all hear that? Yeah, that was amazing because, when that juicer gets to, sometimes it just looks, but it has to be pressed. The fruit and the vegetables and all that has to be pressed to pull out the nutrients, to pull out the juice,
That's right.
And so you're right. You're right. Sometimes in the pressing, we used to say it all the time, there is a blessing in the pressing. Somebody's rolling their eyes right now. Stop it. Stop rolling your eyes, whoever you are listening on the podcast. I want you to stop rolling your eyes and know that there is a blessing in the pressing. Okay? I'm not talking about a hot comb. I'm talking about a wine press. I'm talking about a juicer. I'm talking about those kinds of things. Okay? All right, I'm done.
Oh, my God.
Good. So there you go. That was number one. So go ahead and write that down. I don't care what you believe in. There is a blessing in the pressing.
That's right. That was powerful because you know what? For whoever was rolling their eyes, let me tell you. See, it's really interesting, Joy, as we're on here tonight, because I feel like we're coming from two sides of the coin. So we got Joy, who is, she being power-packed and nugget-filled, and then you got me, who has an attitude. So I feel like anybody rolling your eyes, it's okay, because I was probably rolling my eyes earlier today, just rolling hard. But that's all right. Even in the eye rolling, you can roll your eyes and keep walking, though. So don't stop.
Except when you're
now,
around
whatever
your family.
You do, don't stop. Huh?
Except when you're around your family. Because when you're around your family, it's just, no.
Well, yeah. Yeah, don't do that then. No. Let me help you help yourself. Don't do that. But
you're never too old to get popped, okay?
Let me tell you, you like to do that too. They out there, I'm like, you're 92 years old, popping me like I'm not gonna pop you back, and even though we're not gonna pop you back, but still, it's like, now, how you gonna threaten me and you can't move?
I'm like, you better stand back from that broom, okay? Didn't I tell you to get out that bed, girl?
I know. I'm like, they ain't even got their teeth in their mouth. They can barely talk and telling you. It's like I'm a whole grown person, and they're like, I don't care. I'm like, oh, my God. And you know what? Maybe that's another point. Maybe that's a whole other point from this as we're talking about the elderly telling us what to do. It's kind of like there's wisdom that I think comes from the pressing, too.
Yes.
I think about just life in general and how a lot of people, we want wisdom. We want to lead. We want these things. But, again, and everybody always talks about it. But it's different when you're in the middle of it and you're talking about it. It's like, yes, but you actually do have to go through the things that create that person that you're saying you want to be. Like it's ugly sometimes. And but yet some of the wisdom comes from the journey that you've been on. You know, some of the,
that's right.
Not even just wisdom, some of the solidness. Like, have you ever met somebody who's just really solid? Like, they're not easily moved. It's like, very confident, and I'll, hey, we always talk about, we Jesus girls over here. So, they're faith-filled. And it's like, dang, how did you get like that? And it's like, yeah, because you probably got pressed real hard, but you kept going. And it developed that person. And so I think about just kind of some of my pressing that's going on right now, because, y'all, I'm in the middle of the juice presser rolling my eyes. I'm like, but the person that develops, you have to go through the process to become that person. You can't skip over certain parts of the process, and that's just true. Even if
that's
we
right.
want to, we can't. So that's another one.
So that's the nugget. There's no skipping. There's no dice rolling so you can go on 7 spaces forward. This isn't Monopoly.
I'm telling you, wouldn't you love? I love to skip forward a little bit, but guess what? I don't want fake money. That ain't going to help me in life.
That's it. That's not going to help me. That's not going to help you. It's not helping anyone. There is no skipping. And sometimes you have to pack light.
That's true.
You can't take everything where you're headed. You can't take mama's baggage. You can't take daddy's baggage. You can't take uncle, bestie, any of their baggage with you. Nor can you. Sometimes you can't even take, ladies, sometimes you can't even take your makeup. It's not worth it. It's not about the outside right now. Because I know we just paint those faces up so pretty, as my aunt would say. Just so pretty.
Oh,
but we paint those faces, but the soul is bleeding. So we need to take care of that.
Right.
And so what was nugget number 2? Because people are writing things down, and we want you all to get this message. I believe for people tonight, because folks are struggling. They really are, Ashley. So you're sharing some good nuggets. So what was nugget 2? Because I can just get off on a tangent.
That's right. So, nugget 2 would be you have to, sometimes you have to go through the tough parts of the journey to become the person that you're supposed to be. To develop into everything.
Yes. Yes, because, my grandmother sang a song on the record player. Okay, she had a record. Some of you all are just discovering records. That's okay. That's cool. My grandma had a record that she would put on. I don't even remember the group, but I know it was like they were taking steps to heaven. And it was on the front of the, you know how they have the vinyl, and then you got the case that it's in. So, they were like, it's kind of like walking, looking up at the pearly gates, I guess. And I remember it was called I'm Coming Up on the Rough Side of the Mountain.
Oh, that's
I want to tell somebody because, I know there were some top-tier athletes that were just killed doing mountain running, and one of them was a highly decorated athlete. And I think there were 21 of them that were killed when the conditions changed and it got really, really cold, and there was a lot that happened. They are dead. And I don't mean to bring a damper, but it had me thinking again, about challenge and about how sometimes we do have to go up the rough side. Now, we don't know what's coming on the other side. We don't know what we're going to see. We don't know what we're going to experience. We don't know if our time is up, but we know that we shall live and not die. You know what I mean? But still, we don't know. So in that uncertainty, sometimes we act, what's the word I'm looking for, Ashley? Sometimes we act rashly, and we go ahead and try to figure it all out too quickly. And sometimes it's best to slow down. At the time when your body, and I always say this, as a therapist, I tell people, when your body and your mind wants to speed up and hurry up and make things happen, sometimes it's best to do nothing. To do nothing. Because you're training yourself, just like you would train for a race. You are training yourself how not to overreact in moments that, frankly, are just like, just confoundry, befuddlement. Okay, there we go. I'm done.
Y'all, she used some SAT words, confoundry, before. Actually, that's not even SAT word. That's some good PhD word, confoundry.
Oh, God. If I use that anywhere in my dissertation,
my. We will all find a dictionary for it. But you know what? You bring up a good point. And actually, I thought of something I wanted to tell everybody out there that, something I always struggled past tense. Actually, before I say that, let me preface, because earlier today, Joy and I don't know how we were talking about the emotion wheel. I think we saw a poster, something was going on online, and we started talking about, like, the emotion wheel. And if you all don't know what that is, first of all, just check out Joy's page, Dr. Joy Well, because she has all kinds of stuff on there. But you can Google it. And it's something that I love the emotion wheel, because, I sometimes have a hard time just kind of pinning down what the emotion is I'm feeling. And so we were talking about that earlier today, and it makes me think of just kind of this rough side of the mountain time. And I think sometimes, or at least I remember years ago, I would always be, when people were going through tough times, and some of y'all may remember this, you'd have people say, yes, but I'm going to make it. And they were just encouraged, and they were just on fire. And sometimes they're just not. You know what? I remember I used to feel bad if I was having a rough time and I didn't, I wasn't excited and pumped up and faith-filled. But you know what? Sometimes you are not, and that's okay. I think that we have to understand, just kind of like you said, Joy, the slowing down and doing nothing. I think part of that slowing down and doing nothing is actually taking time to sit down with yourself and recognize and feel your emotions. Because I think in a world where we are so fast-paced and go, 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 we really neglect that part. And to me, that's a part of mental health, is how do I feel right now? It's okay how you feel. You may feel all kinds of ways. That's okay. Acknowledge how you feel. Don't try to change it. Acknowledge it, sit in it, and move and work through those feelings. And, I think that was something I didn't do well. And, just like right now, we're on this podcast. I'm not going to act like I'm just the highest of the spirits. I'm not, but here I am, and I'm being honest about how I feel, and we're going to move through this. So I think that's something powerful for people, too, because stop pretending that you're good and that you're all faith-filled. Guess what? If you're like, you know what, screw this, excuse me, but let's be real. If you're like, screw this, then say it. Just be real about it, because you don't want to suppress that. Yeah, girl.
Exactly. Yep. I posted on my Insta stories, which I guess people aren't looking at Insta stories as much because they're obsessed with Reels and TikToks, but I love the queen of the Insta story. I love a good Insta story. So
yes, she is, y'all.
Today I said that, literally, today is not the day for fake it till you make it. See, it's not. It's not. And I think that, that verbiage and that sentence keeps going around. And I'm like, well, why? If you're not doing, and I think we've all learned in this time, if you didn't learn anything else in 2020, you learned that faking it was not going to help you survive quarantine.
Right.
Okay? Because they're either, you know what I mean? Whether you were fearful, whether you literally had coronavirus, there was no faking. Okay? There was no way to fake your way out of anything, even for those who are suffering from depression or just not sure how to structure their day, annoyed with their partner, annoyed with their kids, annoyed with their dogs. I think it was important to just say, there were times where I was just on the verge of just breaking, you know, where I just felt like, oh my God, can I take any more of it? What do I need to do for my business as an entrepreneur? what am I doing? And it's all this, like, meaning that I'm supposed to do something different. And so it's okay to be in that space. So I hope you all are continuing to take notes with us. And, it's not a time to be fake and phony. Back in the day, one of my friends and I used to always say, a fake and a phony cannot make this journey. And it's not to say that people cannot get to where they're going. It's to say that the journey of authenticity requires you address your feelings. It requires you acknowledge and sit in them as you are processing, and that leads to boom, 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 progress.
That's right. That's right. So, and, I think that's powerful. I do. I think that's a powerful nugget, even to kind of leave people with. And I say that because I think a lot of people as well, and I think we've all seen this just getting worse over the past year, definitely, really the past probably few years. But just this thing that people tend to just give up. They have no hope. They lose all hope and just want to give up. And I think I just want to encourage people out there. If there's any time for me to encourage people who want to give up, let me just do it now. Because one thing I've said, and I think Joy and I have said this on the podcast before, it's been a rough season. And when I say season, I don't mean 2020. And Joy, you tell me if I'm wrong. I can speak on my behalf and Joy's behalf. It has been like a tough decade.
It's been like a rollover, and there was no self-help book. Like, literally, I'm like, how your minutes roll over and you're just so happy. Some of you remember back in the day, you were like, yeah, because I saved 500 minutes, so now I got 1,500 for this month. Okay? I'm not talking about that kind of rollover. I'm talking about the rollover of stuff that just would not go.
That's right.
You could, we went to yoga. We had church, ran around the house, prayed and fasted. Went to every conference,
anointed
with read books. Literally. We done it. You name it. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you, that's the power of having someone in your life who is on the journey with you. Some of you right now, your growth is stunted because you think you can do it all on your own. You are drowning in that. You have got, I said that on the podcast today, you have got to form a team, because if you don't, how are you going to win? You cannot do this all on your own. It's not possible. So I do want you to think about that and say, who is someone that I want to be a part of my team, someone that's strong in areas that I'm weak, and someone that is weak in areas that I'm strong, so that we can all work together and elevate. Didn't you feel like you learned that, Ashley, over time? Like, it's so important to have people around you who can help you and support you as they're learning and growing too.
That's right. Yeah, and I feel like that's what a lot of us are missing today, because I agree. It's one of those things where, and I think we've said this before too, is when one of us is down, the other one can help lift them up. It wasn't there. Didn't we talk about what was it, like a poem or a picture or something of, what was it, when the elephant's giving birth to something? Wasn't it something about that?
They stand in a circle. That's right. Yes. Let me tell you about the elephant.
Vulnerable.
That's right. Let me. How many of you are willing to stand in a circle to support your friends that may be struggling or having challenges? How many of you are willing to take your time, not to just send something on Instagram that you read, but to actually take time on the phone to work through a problem, to really process a problem? How many of you are willing now, And I think that shows something, because your willingness will carry you through the wilderness. That's something for somebody tonight, too. If you've ever had a wilderness experience, you didn't know where you were, what was going on, why you couldn't feel better, why it seemed like you were just drowning, why it seemed like you lost focus, why you were questioning the meaning of life, I want you to know that's a wilderness experience. That's not something you're going to go and be in the rest of your life. But your willingness, though, because you have to take a step. So if you're willing, you are going to keep moving. Your willingness will help get you through the wilderness. So you need to write that down too.
That's right. That's powerful. Your willingness will help get you through the wilderness. And I think that's so important, because I'm telling you, and y'all know I'm an advocate for mental health, but sometimes, I do believe this, not for everybody, not for every case, but sometimes we really need to surround ourselves with those people, because when you're feeling like giving up, that's the moment where you need somebody in your corner. If it's just to sit there with you and let you cry or whatever, you need somebody there. Because like you said, Joy, that wilderness doesn't last forever. Even though in the moment you may feel like I have no options, like this is end, even though you feel that way, it's remembering that it's a wilderness, and the wilderness does not go on forever. There will be a break in the tree eventually.
That's right.
But you cannot stop. And that's why you have people around you, because those people, when you can't walk, they're gonna help you. They're gonna pick you up.
That's it.
And they're gonna keep going. And to me, that's so important, because we all need to make it now.
Yes.
Because I know
you got to stand in a circle. I want you to remember the elephant.
That's right.
The elephant.
That's right. That's right. Remember that elephant, and look it up, because that was one of the most, every time I think about it, it almost, especially when I'm going through something like today, it makes me emotional, because it really is powerful to me how someone's willing to just sacrifice for you. There now, that's some sistership love right there.
That's right. That's right.
The wilderness, and I think I just want to keep letting them know that, Joy, like, the wilderness does not last forever, y'all. I promise it does not. It makes
like people get in a stuck place. They get stuck, and feeling like, well, when am I ever going to see, some fruit? When am I going to see something good? When am I ever going to find someone who will love me? When will I ever love me? Why is it that I can't find that love like I see other people? And really those kinds of questions are dangerous questions. I did we talk about dangerous questions? Did a whole podcast episode about dangerous questions. And I think it's important that just like we acknowledge our feelings, we also acknowledge when certain questions are becoming dangerous because they're spiraling us downward. Well, gosh, failed again becomes I am a failure. Then it becomes, well, if I'm a failure, do I matter? I wonder if I matter to anyone. Like if I ended my life tomorrow, would anyone care? Those kinds of questions, words have power. So when you begin to go there in your mind, I want you to catch yourself. I want you to catch yourself right there and acknowledge that you are asking dangerous questions, and I want you to find something else to think about. I want you to think about all of the colors that you can name. I want you to find something. I want you to name all of the shows you grew up watching. I want you to name all of your favorite sports teams and favorite athletes. I want you to pull yourself out of the dangerous spiral, because that is not where you need to be. So if you can't phone a friend, if you don't have anyone to text with, then I want you to literally begin to have a theme in your head and just start naming, start envisioning, envision, like with Kobe Bryant, it was the Mamba mentality. What is your mentality today? What is your mentality? But
that's right.
For Kobe, it was like, you know what? You all are counting me out, and you know what? Y'all still counting because I'm still doing it. That was his thing. And he looked at the Mamba, and he said, you know what? I see it. I'm embracing it. I'm embracing not quitting because it's tough and people don't believe in me sometimes.
Yeah.
They think I'm over. Nobody, that doesn't matter because you're not out of it. You're not over. So what is your mentality?
That's right.
We need to get real because even when I know I am tough. I can be tough and sensitive all at the same time. I'm going to tell you something. I told Ashley, I said earlier, I don't remember when it was, a few days ago, I said, listen, and I know that I get this from my family. I know. I said, listen, let's cry when this is over. When it's over, we can have a good cry. But right now, we got to fight.
That's true. Yes, you did. I think that was like 2 days ago.
I was like,
oh, my goodness.
Sometimes you get that desperation in your voice when it's like, you know what? I can cry or I can fight, but I got to figure this thing out, right?
That's
so
right.
I know for me, I was like, look, we are going to do this thing, okay?
That's right.
So then afterwards, you can cry. You can have your moment, break down all you want. But can we please, can we get the business finished first? And then we can have the cry fest with the cake and the balloons and everything else you need. Ice cream, Chick-fil-A brownies, whatever. YOLO. But let's get the business taken care of first. See, some of y'all don't know this side of me. I'm letting you know. Okay?
Yeah.
We got
you know what? Let me
get it together.
To that too, because how this happened, and again, y'all, this is why you need to surround yourself with other elephants. Because again, okay, let me just give it a little bit. Now, again, there will be a part 2 to this. I think Joy, we were talking about this.
Yes, indeed. I already said there was going to be a part 2. What happens when you get out the wilderness? Okay.
That's right. There will be a when you get out the wilderness. Because, see, what happened a couple of days ago, I'll just say it like this. There were some situations, and y'all know I traveled across the country to come to grad school. There were some situations that was trying to stop me from completing this journey. Now, I'll just leave it there for now. Now, I was just flabbergasted and just breaking down. And I think that's where my elephant sister came in and was like, okay, what do we need to do here? This is what we need to do. And sometimes you need that because in the middle of your breakdown, you need somebody to say, okay, hold on, don't break all the way. Just wait a minute, hold on. Let's get a list. What do we need to do? Let's do this, and this. Because after I did that, some things started happening. Now, something else happened. Again, sometimes when it rains, it pours. Today was rough. I'll just be real. But yet again, you have your sisters around you. Just like, okay, wait a minute. What do we need to do here? And again, I just think that's so important for people to think about is you have those people who can really kind of speak to you when you're in that moment. Because not everybody can speak to you when you're in that moment. That's only like true friendship, when someone can speak to you in that kind of moment. And so it's important to think about developing those kinds of relationships, because I think some people, and I've heard people say this before, that they don't really have any close friends or close girlfriends. And I'm like, why? Why not? You don't need a whole bunch, but why not? Because you need those people there who what do they say, closer than a sister? You need those people in your life.
That's right. You need those people. And, people are saying, well, I don't know how to trust anyone, or I've been hurt before. But everybody can't be measured by that standard. And that's why people need to really address that kind of hurt or trauma and get healing in those areas.
That's right.
That's important. I think people say, well, I'm not good friends with girls. I don't really hang with girls. I'm like, where does that come from? It comes from some of your first relationships in your life were not great. And so can we acknowledge that instead of just saying, well, I don't hang out with other women. Women are drama, too much estrogen, you know? So can we acknowledge? Yeah, we need to acknowledge that, you know, we had some relationships, you know, that were not, they just didn't go well. You know?
That's right. And that's it. Yeah. And don't put everybody in that category.
No. Stop putting people in that category. You know? So as I was eating a Dorito Loco taco, I was talking with Ashley. And that's probably why I'm a little loco right now. I'm not going to shade you, Taco Bell, but that's all that was open. I guess I could have gone to, like, somewhere else, but, like, I wasn't ordering DoorDash or what is the other thing, Grubhub or Uber Eats. I needed to just, but now my tummy doesn't feel so great, but that's no shade, Taco Bell, just kind of, just, you know. Anyway, maybe
Taco Bell gets bubble sometimes. Y'all know how it is. That late night Taco Bell.
I may end up waking up a Dorito Loco. I'm going to wake up a Dorito Loco.
That's right. Dorito.
Maybe I'll wait. There's a place in North Myrtle Beach, and I think in Myrtle Beach, that's called Nacho Hippo. And literally I went there. And see, this is why I say words have power, right? I went there. My mom and I split a huge nacho. Now, I didn't know how big it was going to be. All I know is it said Nacho Hippo. I was like, well, we'll get that, whatever, because there's so many different kinds. And I left there feeling like a hippo. Like, literally. I was like, well, that was really good. And then I felt like a hippo. Like, literally. I tell you all, words have power.
That's hilarious. But see, now I want to Nacho Hippo.
Oh, yeah, you love it. Actually, like, that is like, they have the coolest nachos. Those of you who ever, you know, when you go to Myrtle Beach or North Myrtle, they have 2 locations, I think. And it's so, so good. And, yes, you will leave feeling like a hippo, so you'll want to have something really, really good to chase it with. All right, that's all I'm going to say about that.
All right. Yes, that sounds like an center.
Words have power.
Yes. That's right. Boom.
Yes.
You know what?
Boom.
I'm just like, y'all. Ooh, that right there, I feel like that's, let all of that marinate. I feel like that was, y'all marinate on that stuff right there.
Exactly. So we should, you know, I'm a professor, so we need to summarize. Because some of you are like, oh, my gosh, I heard so many things, and my head is swimming, right? So I'm going to summarize just a little bit, right? You know, Ashley started off, well, I started off with my craziness, but Ashley really, you know, started by talking about acknowledging your emotions. That's so important. You need to identify when you're going through a rough time, even when you're having a happy time. You know, how do you differentiate? People will say, well, I haven't felt good in a long time. I'm like, are you sure? Or was it just that you ignored that because it wasn't negative? When we lean on the negative, then, you know, that's where we're going to be. We don't acknowledge the times when we actually are happy. So in acknowledging your feelings and emotions, acknowledge all of them. I'm happy today. I feel good today. I'm content. Or I feel like I have an attitude, and if I didn't know Jesus, I'd be in jail. You know, sometimes you just need to have those kinds of moments. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody's, talk about it. Talk about it. Don't hold it in. I think there was a young woman, pardon me, on the Facebook group who was like, I just hold it all in. And I'm like, no, please don't do that.
Nope.
Because that becomes a Lifetime movie or some sort of reality show on Snap, whatever. Please do not become a documentary that we're going to see 10 years from now, okay?
Yeah, we don't see you on that. No.
No. Then the other thing, was talking about having a wilderness moment. We all have had. Like, literally, I was just there when I had the migraines that were piercing. I couldn't work. I was apologizing to clients. The wilderness moment situation. But when a doctor had an answer and when it meant that I was going to have to sacrifice some things to get the treatment that I needed, I was going to have to sacrifice money, time, all kinds of things, okay? when I had to do, like, literally, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make all this work. But we found a way. And my mom was able to go with me. And then, I was able to have my treatment. And now I feel, tons better. But the reality is that, we're going to have those moments where it's like, is there a way out? Because even the nurse was like, well, you could have a stroke or a heart attack. But I'm like, what?
Right?
Y'all didn't send me any paperwork about this. So, you're there and it's like, well, man, maybe I should have spent more time working on a will. Dance director or something. They didn't even ask me, did I have. Okay, anyway, point being that you want to concentrate on the fact that your willingness. I had willingness to go. And I had willingness to say, I'm not going to just keep going, doing the same old thing, getting the same result. I had a doctor tell me, you can go home and cry about it, but it's not going to change anything. So if I had gone home and cried about it, instead of continuing to do my research, getting a second opinion and believing that I was going to get better, then I would still be in the same place, stuck. And that is some of you right now. You just need some encouragement. It's okay. Your willingness is going to break the wilderness experience, but you got to go through it to see what's on the other side. And I'm going to tell you, I feel so much better. I do. So that's an encouragement to you, Ashley. And the other thing is the wilderness is temporary, right? So you all write this stuff down. The wilderness is temporary. It's not forever. So,
that's right.
You really do need to focus on both your happy, contentment seasons, your seasons where you're texting everybody and posting on Facebook about how crazy this movie is you saw on Netflix, and oh my God, like you need to have look at the span of all of your experiences and stop just leaning on the negative.
That's right. That's right.
What did we see this weekend? What was that movie? The Woman in the Window? I'm not going to spoil it for you all, but I'm going to tell you right
she was stuck.
Listen, she was in a wilderness experience, okay?
Yes, she was.
And had trauma. And I'm telling you right now, there were some people who let her down. Some of you have experienced that. And Ashley, I know you can speak to that. When we get to the other side, we can have that conversation. But some people let Ashley down. And so, I was like, who do I need to call? Do I need to call somebody? Because I was about to start getting on the phone. But,
she was,
again, that's just how I am. I'm like, what do we need to do? Because that's what you do. It's not, well, I'm just going to, I'm just going to sit there. So we're not going to do that. So, looking at everything Ashley has shared with you, that it's been rough. It's been rough. But guess what? We have friends. We have people around us who are willing to be there. But will you let them be there for you, though?
That's right.
Because if you're too independent, and you're too, I got this, it's okay, I don't want to be a rain cloud. I'm sorry, that doesn't make you humble.
No.
Somebody.
No.
I mean, and people
really, that's pride. I'm just going to say it.
That's exactly.
That's your ego.
It's pride.
Sorry.
And it's thank you, Ashley.
I'm just going to
I
told you I got an attitude. I'm just going to say
thank you.
You got ego.
That's right. That's it. So I'm really glad that we mentioned that. Because that you think you're doing one thing, but it's actually the opposite. Because people really do want to support you. They do want to support you. But if you cannot break enough to ask, enough to say, yes, I need help, then you're going to continue to sit in this funk, and everybody's looking like, man, just say what you need. Like, what is it? I may not be able to give you 500, but I can give you 50.
That's right. That's right.
So I think that becomes the big thing. That's the word. Right. So you need to, we need to get back to the village mentality. And some of us are standing on an island by ourselves, And that's not good. So, Ashley, I appreciate you sharing with all of the challenges, self-delegation, all around the globe, because whether you are praying, whether you are sending a message to Ashley, whether you are just, checking out our redesigned website, that WednesdayLife.com. However you get in contact.
Check it out.
I thought, you know what? Let's keep it nice and simple and clean. So visit us at that WednesdayLife.com. Yeah, and just get involved. We want to hear from you. And we really do. We want to interact with you. So we know there's some of you that are listening, and we appreciate you. But yeah, we're going to cover Ashley. We're going to hear the rest of the story, because I believe already that it's going to work out. So there are a lot of people that are talking about this manifest. Yeah, that manifest is an old word. Okay, this didn't just come around New Age. It's real.
Drop that thing.
That's right. Manifestation is like none of us were alive when manifestation was literally a part of the conversation. So those who think that this is a New Age word, no, you're wrong. So when you speak what you seek, and we put out there that, yes, we have the key word, faith, that things are going to work out. Hope and belief that things are going to exceed the expectation that our human mind can conjure up. Because, the mind can say all kinds of things. But I'm going to tell you, when you believe against belief, see, that's when you're going beyond, because there's some times your mind will try to limit you. But I'm going to tell you, you got to go further. Because if you want to see it manifest, and I'm not talking about writing it down and doing something cute with it. I'm talking about power. If you want to see the manifestation of something, then you have to change your language. You have to change your belief patterns and your mindset that tells you, oh, well, I'm never going to make it through this. No, you are. You are, but that takes power, and that power is beyond you. That's beyond you. So you've got people that are talking to you out here, and they're telling you it's you. You got to heal yourself. You got to do this for yourself. It's all me. I do it for me. I'm like, no, you didn't, and no, you don't.
No.
There is a power beyond you. And I'm telling some of you right now, if you believe beyond your human belief, you will see, just like we got through one part of Ashley's situation. We're going to talk more about that, but we're getting ready to go through the next part. So you need a team of people. It can't just be you. And that means you need to humble yourself, and you need to understand that your challenge is temporary. So when you literally have these things happen, you will gain knowledge, and that helps you to grow. That helps you to move forward. So instead of seeing it as an obstacle, we are going to see how this is an opportunity, because not only is Ashley going to come out, but there are going to be others that are impacted by what she has gone through while working on her graduate degree. All right? That's how I feel about that. We need to get into that we just need to have that moment, because I think, Ashley, it's important that people understand that it's not just you. You can't will your way through. Sometimes you got to get a team.
No. That's right. That's right. And that's how we are made. We are made to be in a village. We are made to be in a team. I don't understand how this happens. Oh, let me be singular and independent. Like, that's not how we were made. We are humans. Humans flock together. Let's be real. So, hey.
Yes.
Challenge
yourself. We want you to reach out to us, challengeyourself@gmail.com, hello@WednesdayLife.com. We want you to reach out, email us. You can literally send us a message on Instagram at challenge.courage, on both Facebook and Instagram. On our website, you can chat with us. It's really quick and easy. Mm-hmm. So we hope that you reach out, and we're going to give you all part 2 as soon as it manifests. That's right. Okay, because it's already there. We just got to pull it on down. Okay, to make it come to where it needs to be on the human level so we can see it.